football is back!
Yes!
Yeah!
Woo! Football!
Yes! Praise God! Hallelujah!
Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in. And it's time for me to finally, and I mean time, it's finally time for me to give a Bears pregame review as the Bears are at home to open up the 2024 regular season to take on the Tennessee Titans. Now, these reviews, I'm going to go over things that I'm looking to see on both sides of the ball, matchups, and also, as usual, I'm going to give my prediction of who is going to win the game and why. But I don't want to make this intro any longer than it has to be. Bears football is back. It's time to preview week 1. Without further ado, let's dive into it. First, we're going to talk about this Bears offense and Caleb Williams in his first NFL start going up against this Titan defense who there's nothing to sleep on. They have L'Jarius Sneed, who they acquired this offseason. They also have Quandre Diggs, who they also acquired. Jamal Adams, even though I personally think Jamal Adams is a bit overrated, but that's neither here nor there. They have Kenneth Murray Jr., who's a very solid linebacker. Arden Key, good off the air. Harold Landry, very solid off the edge. Sebastian Joseph-Day. They have some talent over in Tennessee. So this defense, I think, is nothing to really slouch on, led by defensive coordinator Denard Wilson. This Tennessee Titans defense is nothing to slouch on. Now, I'm interested to see how they're going to match up with the Bears wide receivers because L'Jarius Sneed, he's the number one corner on this football team, and it's interesting to see how they're going to stick him on a guy like a DJ Moore or a guy like a Keenan Allen that's going to free up more for the other receivers. It's interesting if he's going to travel with DJ, if he's going to travel with Keenan. That remains to be seen on how they want to match up these Bears weapons at wide receiver. Odunze is not a slouch in his own right. He had a very solid career with the Cincinnati Bengals. Now he's moving over to the Titans. I really think this Bears offense, number one, I've always been a prevalent of the Bears or any team, I think, has to establish the running game. I think with DeAndre Swift, Khalil, Herbert, and Velus Jones and the ways that they can use him going out of the backfield, I think it's going to set up so much of this play action of the Bears rolling out Caleb Williams, which we've seen them do a little bit of that during this preseason. It's going to be interesting to see how they're going to incorporate the play action and the rollout and the bootleg game into this contest because we've seen Caleb Williams can do things on the run, so it wouldn't be a big surprise for teams to roll them out. It's just how are they going to set that up is how are they going to be effective and how effective they're going to be running the football. As in, we know DeAndre Swift is probably going to be like that workhorse, so he's going to probably be like that main type of running back. And then you're going to talk about a guy like Khalil Herbert, who can come in. He's a good receiving back out of the backfield, as well as Swift there. Velus Jones, the things that he can do dynamically, he can change the game. It's just how are the Bears going to set up a running game to, one, make things easier for Caleb Williams in his first NFL start. Two, you can set up so much of your play action game off of that running game, which I just think this offensive line for the Chicago Bears just has to be stout up front, and Jeffrey Simmons is nothing to slouch on. He's one of the better defensive players that we have in the NFL, so he can cause havoc for this Bears offensive line if they are not up to task. I know Tevin Jenkins, he's probably my favorite on the Bears offensive line. His toughness, he needs to stay healthy, but his toughness and the things that he does within the course of a game is blocking, open up holes. I think this offensive line is going to be key in how are they going to open up holes and set up their run action, the play action that the Bears and Shane Waldron have shown that they can do throughout the course of this preseason. Today's video is brought to you by Cellular C4. This is a product that I personally use before I even decided to partner with them. And the first thing I got introduced to was the energy drinks by C4. This right here is a fruit punch flavor. They have many other flavors. They have popsicle flavors that just dropped. They have Skittles, Starburst, all the type of flavors that you want. To help you get started with your day, you can wake up in the morning before you start your day and drink you one of those. And also before you get that workout in, when it's workout day, you can take you some pre-workout. To help you get the boost in your workout, all the products, 0 sugar, low calories. This is a great product to take you in your workouts and your journey on fitness to the next level. And I am happy to partner with a product that I was already using in my own personal life. And I will leave my code in the description below to save you guys 20% on your first purchase of C4 of their workouts. They even have muscle recovery to help boost after workouts. They have so many supplements and things to help you on your fitness journey, and you can get yours today in the description below. Click the link and use my code APW Sports to help you save 20%. And again, the links are in the description below, and use the code APW Sports to save you 20% on your purchase. Now, it is time to get back into the video. Now, we're going to talk about this Bears defense going up against this Tennessee Titans offense, who also is nothing to slouch on. When you have Will Levis, who I think is improving more and more. The more he plays, I think we're seeing more and more of his improvement, where there's more. I think he's been better accurately. He's been better in his decision making. And this Titans team was a very solid team last season offensively. And even though they're have that Derrick Henry departure, Tony Pollard is a very solid running back. They have Calvin Ridley, who they brought over from the Jaguars, their own division rival. DeAndre Hopkins, we're not sure if he's going to play, but they brought in Tyler Boyd to bring along with Traylon Burks. So this team is nothing to slouch on. J.C. Latham on that offensive line. You have Skoronski, who they drafted last year. Petit Friere from the Ohio State University. He knows I got to go with my Buckeye guys. But, and Cushenberry at the center position. This team, I've always felt this Titans team is a on a little bit of a ride. And I think with Will Levis at the quarterback position, how is he going to do things against the Bears secondary, who is very stacked with Brisker, with Gordon, Jaylon Johnson, with a guy like a Kevin Byard? How are they going to be able to have success? Stevenson as well. How are they going to be able to cover those 3 wide receiver sets that the Titans are going to more likely be in, assuming DeAndre Hopkins is healthy enough to play in week 1. I think we're going to have to see a little bit better up front, because during this preseason, we didn't see a ton of things up front. I like Billing. I like Dexter. I was interested in what Pickens is going to give us, since Chris Williams bringing him in as a depth piece to go along with Montez Sweat on that defensive line, to go along with Austin Booker, who I think should see some reps, DeMarcus Walker as well. Then you have that linebacking core with Edwards and Edmunds and Sanborn, who played really good last year, and I think they're going to have good years this year. This Titans offense with Brian Callahan, who's coming over from that Cincinnati Bengals offense, that they did a lot of things throwing the football. And I think with the development of Will Levis, even though I think Will Levis can be a very solid quarterback, I think they're going to try to do things to establish the running game against this Bears front and not have to throw the ball so much, and see how they can run the football against this Bears front. Because if we're looking at the Bears as a defensive unit, I think the weakest spot of this Bears defense is in the interior of the defensive line, and maybe outside rush, outside of Montez Sweat. But Montez Sweat does have a thing where he plays the run just as good as he rushes the quarterback. He's another piece to this Bears defense that I think can have a very explosive game against this Titans offensive line, who is solid, but I don't think it's one of the better offensive lines. They do have a very good wide receiving core for Will Levis to throw to, and along with Okonkwo at tight end. I hope I'm not butchering that. I just really think that this team with the Titans and Brian Callahan, who that physical running style of Bill Callahan and things that he's done with this offensive line, I just want to see how things could be established with the running game. If the Bears can really be stout up front with the defensive tackle play, if the linebackers are going to scrape and they're going to be very active in the running game. So for this Titans team, I'm kind of looking for them to kind of throw the football maybe a little bit more, especially with the wide receiver weapons that they have. But I still think the running game, they're going to try to make it a threat for this Bears defense. But with all that said, my prediction for this game is going to be, I picked the Bears to win this game 24-17. The reason I say the Bears I think are going to win this game is, number one, I think Caleb Williams, despite this being his first NFL start, I think the way Shane Waldron is going to set up this offense is going to make it just a bit easier for him to operate. I think he's going to make it a little bit easier for him to spread the football to the weapons the Bears have. Another thing is, I think the things dynamically what the Bears can do with this running game can cause some fits for this Tennessee Titans defense. One thing that I'm going to be predicated on, and Matt Eberflus is predicated on with this football team, is turnover. And I think the Bears are going to do enough to create some turnovers on their defensive side of the ball in order to put the offense in better positions. And I do think this is going to be a close game because this Titans team is, I'm going to say, it's a bit similar to this Bears team, even though I think the Bears are just a bit more talented than the Titans. I just believe that this Bears football team defensively is definitely, I think, is more talented than the Titans, and the Titans offense is right there. I just think the Bears are going to make a few more defensive stops and turnovers that really can change the course of this ball game. And then on the special teams, I think the Bears have a bit of an edge with Torrey Taylor punting, Carlos Santos kicking, and it's more than likely it's probably going to be Velas or DeAndre Carter at the kick return game or the punt return game. So I think the Bears have an advantage on special teams. I think the Bears have an advantage defensively. I think offensively, they might be just, I'm not going to say a little bit even. I just think the Bears defense will make a few more plays and a few more necessary stops and turnovers to really change this game. And I think the Bears will end up winning it 24-17 at home to open up the season 1-0. But those are my thoughts, my preview, my prediction of this Bears regular season week 1 contest against the Titans. I am APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great and excellent day, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.